And we're ready. So welcome everybody to our Tuesday afternoon sessions where we talk about trekking in Nepal. My name is Michelle Hill, and for me, Nepal holds a very special place. I first trekked in 2015, so 8 years ago now. And like many people, I went to Everest Base Camp as my first trek of choice. And then about 2 years after that, came back and trekked Annapurna Circuit. And I just, both times, it's not only the beautiful views and the physical challenges and the mental challenges, but it's about the growth and change that you experience as a person as well. And for me, the first time I trekked, that kickstarted a whole journey of personal development for me. And now, because I'm so passionate about all of this, I want to share this with as many people as possible and help you to understand why it is so amazing to trek in Nepal and the type of things that you can expect to happen to you when you go to Nepal. Now, today we're going to talk about how to actually plan your dream trip. But before we do that, I'm going to hand over to Dinesh so he can introduce himself. And I'm also going to wish him a very, very happy birthday for today. We don't have any cake or candles, but all my best wishes for today.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Michelle. Those who doesn't know about me, my name is Dinesh Karki and from Nepal. And this is early morning here. It's about 9 o'clock. And I would say good morning to everyone, those who are watching our live video. And I'm from the eastern part of Nepal, which is located the big mountain, Mount Everest, and where I was born and brought my childhood. And then I came to Kathmandu with my higher education school and learning this porter job since early age. And then every year I work as porter, and every season I go different region of Nepal. And as I upgrade as assistant guide, and then became a full guide, and which I have done like last 12 years with one of the toppest level of company in Nepal. And then after last 8 years, we have won our trekking company, Nature Expert Trek, which we run, and we have already like hundreds of people travel with us, and those we got like a really nice feedbacks and all the reviews and things. And we are very good in shape. And of course, this is our big season right at the moment also. And I have a few groups are running on the mountain, like in Everest region, Annapurna region, in Upper Mustang. And then also we are going on many trips, departing in a few days later also. So yeah, we're very exciting, and thank you, Michelle. And that's I want to tell you now.
Thank you. Yeah, Dinesh is heading off later this week. He's taking a group to Annapurna Base Camp trek, and that means we won't do our regular Tuesdays for a couple of weeks, but when we do get back together later in the month, we will have Dinesh like literally 3 days back from his trek, so we will talk all about that then. But today what I wanted to talk about was, if you're wanting to plan your trip to Nepal, and I guess there's two different groups that we probably should talk about, because if this is your first visit, if you're a beginner, there's different things that, for me, I think that you should be thinking about versus if you're coming back for your second or your third or your fourth visit. And I know for myself, I did it completely the wrong way around. I'd never done a long trek. I'd never trekked in Nepal. And I just booked in to do this trek to Everest Base Camp without really actually knowing anything at all. And then after I'd already booked the trip, then I started to like look at, was that really the right one for me? Had I managed to book at the right time? All of that sort of stuff. So part of the reason for us doing these lives is to help you think about all of these things before, like me, you jump in boots and all and just go, oh yeah, I'm going to do that. And then to be honest, I turned up in Kathmandu not even realizing I should be using poles. So luckily the people that I was trekking with were a little bit more experienced than me, and we wandered around Tamil and we bought poles, and there was a couple of other things that we bought as well. Oh, I think, you know,
Maybe
the
gloves.
the thing that you wear around your neck. I don't know the technical term.
It's like kind of, yeah, this is really
Yeah.
used. Yeah.
So
We can say like max, it's easy to say.
yeah, so I was a rank amateur. So um, having said all that, I think probably the first thing that you should do if you've never been to Nepal before is actually do a little bit of research and talk to people who've been, or people like Dinesh, so that you can actually figure out like which is the best trek for you. So Dinesh, if someone got in touch with you and said, I've never been to Nepal before, I want the experience of trekking in Nepal, how would you help them work out like what's the best way or what's the best trip for them to do so that they take away the best possible memories and experience?
Yeah. Thank you for the questions. Yeah, this is really, we give them the options because they are first time in Nepal. We ask them how fit are they for the trip. If they have, it depends on also their holiday time from. If they have like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, accordingly we suggest to them to visit some domestic tourists in Kathmandu, like visit Kathmandu heritage sites, and then go to the little down to Pokhara, west of Nepal, and then visit like the Chitwan jungle safari. And then after that, if they have more like time, then we suggest they do some small trek as their first time in Nepal. So a small trek means like where they can climb like 3,000 to 4,000 meter high. From there, where they can see the beautiful mountains range like Annapurna, or any region they go like Langtang or any Everest.
Yeah.
So that will be make them mix adventure, like see the mountains from close distance, and then visit the heritage and ancient culture of Nepal in Kathmandu, like different places like Bhaktapur, Patan, Kathmandu, Swayambhunath. Like Swayambhunath is also known as Monkey Temple, Pashupatinath Temple, or Istupas. These trips makes them mix culture and lifetime experience. Those who want to taste first time of Nepal.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this like according to
Sorry,
we suggest them according to their time from. Yeah. So let's say, for example, if someone traveling for 2 weeks in Nepal, then we suggest like mixed culture, mixed adventure, like visit in Kathmandu, Pokhara, and then do another 1 week trek and then come back. So this will give a pure adventure of lifetime experience.
Yeah, because last week we talked about Langtang region, and most of the treks there are around a week or less than a week, aren't they? So and not as high as some of the others. Okay, so what about and I guess in terms of like looking at budgets and how much people have got to spend, do you sometimes get people who they want to do like a 3-week trek and do everything, but they've only got a really small budget? So how do you help them work that out?
Yeah, it is possible. It's always customized, and we're very flexible. So we have so many trips, budget friendly trips in Nepal. So we organize accordingly their interest and time zone. So let's say if someone have tight in budget, we will make a plan like accordingly. We will give them the like flexibility.
Yeah.
And if they are tight in budget and want to do the 3 week treks, and we do like a same type of organizations, like make like basic things and just whatever they can push, we offer and we suggest accordingly.
Okay, so if somebody's really not sure, it's better for them to be upfront and say, okay, this is how long I want to spend in Nepal, and this is roughly how much I have to spend, so that you can work out like the best, I guess, bang for their buck, which is a bit of a slang term, but so that they get the best possible experience, but still stay within their budget. Okay.
Yeah.
So I mean, obviously you run a trekking organization and you have guides and you take people on treks, but that I do see a lot of people posting in different Facebook groups about, trekking by themselves and just doing different things by themselves. If it's somebody's first time in Nepal and they're not a super experienced trekker, would you recommend that at least for their first trip that they go with a guide and somebody who can help them and make sure they get the best out of their trek?
Yes, yeah. We don't recommend like go longer trek, just kind of a 4-5 days trip. They can experience about trekking in Nepal.
Yeah.
Yeah, we suggest them to go trek. Yeah.
Yeah. So the popular treks are quite well marked. Like the
Pardon?
trails, are the trails easy to find? Like,
Yes.
yeah. Okay. All right. But I mean, I guess for myself, like half the time I had no idea what I was doing. So having a guide was really helpful. What I find interesting too is, and I did the same thing, was this whole, okay, I'm going to go to Nepal. And the first thing that people think of is I'll do Everest Base Camp. Do you find that a lot of people, like their first time in Nepal, they book in and that's what they do?
Yes, some of them, yeah. Who are coming first time in Nepal, but already planning for Everest Base Camp. We have many clients because of that terms, they should have a mentally and physically both strong. Like, like they had a big plan, long plan, like if someone planning for doing Everest Base Camp, they're making the bucket list from last 5 years, maybe 10 years. So those people go direct to Everest, but who doesn't know about Nepal, and they cannot directly make the plan to Everest Base Camp because of need to more research, study about region, study about the place where they're going to sleep, eat, and what we see, like what the atmosphere, a landscape, like these things makes different. So those people who have dreamed for a long time, they can go directly to come Kathmandu and then continue trip to Everest Base Camp. But those people who doesn't know about the Everest Base Camp trek and not really mentioned in bucket list, and then coming first time in Nepal, so it might be a little bit unfit for the first time. So in this case, we suggest them to do first short trip for 4-5 days, and then visit in Kathmandu in nice places like as I already explained before. And then for next time, like another year or a couple of years later, and then they can continue their another big trip like Everest Base Camp or Annapurna Circuit or Manasalu Circuit, any trekking, longer trekking, they can do it after a little bit of experience. Because
I think about myself when I first came to Nepal, like I was reasonably physically fit, like I was doing boot camp a few times a week, and I was doing quite a lot of walking and stair climbing and things like that. And I thought I wasn't doing too badly, but there were parts of the Everest Base Camp trek where I actually was saying to myself, are you serious? What the hell were you thinking? And some of it was way harder than what I expected. But then the flip side of that is that, when you get to base camp and you successfully complete it, then you have that like immense feeling of like satisfaction and, oh my God, I did this kind of thing. So
it is.
So one of the other things that I guess, particularly even in the last 8 years since I first came, was there is much more focus on what people are calling sustainable trekking now. So what, from your perspective, like when I say sustainable trekking, what's the type of things that you would tell people about what we need to do to look after the environment and all that?
Yes, this is, we always suggest don't throw the garbage, anything on the trail, and any tin, canteen, whatever we drink. And because this nature we want to save for our next generation. Everyone, I think, love to that.
Yeah.
So for our clients, we always suggest to please take your plastic bag with you, and then whatever you use, you just keep in the with your plastic bag, and then you can put in the dustbin where we can find. And then also we when we get on the trail, when we're trekking on the trail to the anywhere in Annapurna or Everest and any region, we suggest people to don't throw the garbage or like any plastics and any chocolates things after eat. So we always suggest and cleaning. And when we walk on the trail, if we free and if you are comfortable, we also pick up some garbage and put in the things. And also we always suggest to our customers, please use organic food and things, because of this is really helpful for the locals where you visit, and then their money will go directly to their family for support. So we do like that. And
And in terms of drinking water along the trail, I know like in the mornings, you can get like bottled water or boiled water at the tea houses, but like to make sure that you're not buying too many like plastic bottles and things like that, what do you normally suggest people do?
yes, that's right. We suggest not to buy the mineral bottle or water, and then because of the after you drink the water, the bottle will be thrown on the way or anywhere. So we always suggest they can take from safe drinking water, which is they have to pay the small amount of money, like 50 rupees or 100 rupees in between, but they were saving the nature. And no plastic is hidden.
Right. So when you say safe,
we suggest,
safe drinking water, so is that like water that's being boiled?
No, it is filtering. It's from some material.
Right. Sorry.
Also, if someone want, they can also take the boiled water from tea house.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So what about, so that's kind of like a little bit of a things to think about for people who haven't been to Nepal before. So then I was thinking about, okay, for somebody like myself, so if I wanted to plan another trip, the type of things that might be relevant to think about, and a couple of the things I wrote about, like I wrote a couple of notes because I always forget things, was actually thinking about like getting off the beaten track and not necessarily doing the popular well-known treks, but doing a little bit more research and talking to somebody like you about where are the areas or the trails that you can go that are perhaps not as well known and won't be as busy, but will be perhaps more interesting and more beautiful. What sort of, if I said to you, okay, tell me something about, like, if I've done Everest Base Camp and I've done Annapurna, and I want something that's going to challenge me and maybe take around about 10 days to 2 weeks, what are the sort of treks that you would suggest I look at?
Yes. Well, if people already done like some common trips like Everest, Annapurna, and I still want to do something to remote and quiet place, like you were saying, so we suggest Manaslu circuit, and then Kanchenjunga Base Camp, Makalu Base Camp, because they are adventure and far from the cities of like Kathmandu or anywhere, but you will get the pure adventure.
Okay, so to get a perspective, so from Kathmandu, like Everest is over there and Annapurna is over there. So where is Manaslu?
Manaslu on Annapurna border.
Oh, okay.
They're in the same region. Yeah, just little different region. But after the end of the trip, we meet in the classical Annapurna route trail at the Dharapani. We started little like further west. Yeah. And then we just circuit the meet Manaslu circuit. Yeah. And then we meet down to the Annapurna.
Oh, okay. All right. And what about if somebody really wants to get advanced and they want to actually do some climbing as well as trekking?
Yes, there's so many options for climbing. So many options for climbing. Like we suggest to do like Everest Base Camp with Labuche Peak climbing, Everest Base Camp with uh, Iceland Peak climbing, and then we also say Mera Peak climbing in Everest region. They are mixed with trekking and then climbing.
Can I just ask you, you've got a photo in your yellow jacket on your Facebook profile, like you're like, I've accomplished something, I've made it. Where were you when you took that photo?
Well, that was on the top of the Mera Peak.
Right.
It is 6,464 meter high.
Okay, so is that, I mean, I struggled at 5,400 with oxygen and breathing. When you get up to 6,000 and something, like how difficult is it to keep going?
Well, it is not easy like trekking, because of course we are in climbing with this kind of gear.
Yeah.
Early in the morning, in the cold temperature, it makes really difficult, and dehydrations and tiredness. Of course, it makes like a deep breathing and lack of feel like a little less oxygen, and also it makes like more less energy and headache, something come. But for myself, I would not feel anything, because of I used to do this kind of trip many times. I was the guide, of course, and I need to lead the trail.
Yeah.
And especially the people who are doing this kind of trip, they will feel like hard, of course. But when they have good physical and mental preparation with training, like basic training and skills about climbing, and with warm gears, no problem, they can do it. The people who are preparing that kind of adventure and then climbing will be no problem. Before we go to climbing, we will have a good acclimatize, like trekking some passes and going to base camp and doing like some basic climbing things, and check all the gears, makes more comfortable. And for summit push, it will be no problem.
Awesome. So it's not the kind of thing you just wake up one day and think, oh, I think I'll just go and climb Mera Peak. You actually have to be quite fit and ready for it.
No. It's also another like a big preparation. Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess I'm just looking at some of these ideas I wrote down, because one of the other things I think too, particularly if you're coming back for a second or a third or a fourth trip to Nepal, is the aspect of the spirituality and the different ways that that's expressed in the Nepalese culture. Did you want to talk a little bit about that and what type of things people would be looking for in terms of the temples and the practices and the festivals and meditation and all that? That's all available?
Yeah, like the people, it depends which season they visit in Nepal. Especially if someone visit in autumn is like this month. Started already from this month, and it goes all the way to the end of the November. And of course, Nepal is like the city of temple. Like big people are really like like love to respect the gods, and like not only Hindus, all the Buddhists, all like everything, like Christians, we are mixed, and we are very flexible. The Nepal everywhere, not only in Kathmandu, whole country is covered by the people are really respected and expected, both. And then the people who visit in Kathmandu, especially, of course, it is our main city, where the big airport here, and people first visit in Kathmandu. There is so many different temples. I already picked the name, like Pasupatinath Temple, Swayambhunath Temple, Bodhanath Stupa is like Buddhist things. And then, of course, here is like old history, like Bhaktapur Derby Square, Kathmandu Derby Square, Patan Derby Square. These things are really highlight of in Kathmandu Valley. And also, when you are in the autumn time, you will meet so many different festivals, like Dasai. Dasai is like the biggest Hindu festival. It goes like 1 week. Like that means like sacrificing the goat for the gods, because he has a history. The god and the devil was fighting in the history. What I hear, the god and devil is fighting, and then the god was win over the devil. And then in that happiness things, and that day when he was win as in against the devil, and then in this happiness they called the god and giving the blood for this first, like sacrificing and sharing the happiness accordingly that date. And then all the Hindus people, especially Hindu people, but more everyone in Nepal and India, I think, they celebrate this Dasai festival. And then putting tika, like the tika is rice mixing with red color. They're
Yeah.
giving the tika from senior to junior. I mean, from all parents to children, and who are the senior to putting tika from younger.
Okay.
Right? That means blessing, like giving some like blessings, like let's say you go good health, long life, go respect, go do this kind of, like blessing words from senior.
Okay.
And that's ending in like 1 week almost. And then after 15 days, another festival come back called Tihar. Tihar is, we also know it, this Tihar is known as a lighting festival. That means every house and every city, every business hall, everywhere, all over the Nepal and India. And India's people also call Diwali.
Oh,
This
yeah.
is like, yeah, Diwali. It is very, very popular festival in the world, not only in Nepal, I think now. People love this festival and making light, making like dancing, singing, and making like a decoration, making house, decoration the house, and all the families, those family who are working abroad are not in the house. Everyone come together to celebrate this kind of festival and making like a gathering, and people are making so many different parties and different day. So the tourists, the tourists who visit at that moment, they will get pure experience of festival in Nepal. They can also invited from family, and on the street, they can also celebrate together. The Nepalese people are really welcoming and also giving the beautiful hospitality to people, and they can share the same festival together.
Okay, so if somebody's planning their trip, then and they want to be able to experience some of the festivals, then they've got to keep in mind, like, explain to you what they want, so that we make sure that we time their trek and their arrival and what they're doing, so that they can actually take part in some of the festivals as well.
Yes, sure. They can participate too. Like for me, if I'm saying my example, so if someone want to take this experience with this festival, I can take to my family, for anyone, like they can celebrate in a real local way, like how we celebrate.
Okay.
So
maybe I need to make sure that I come next October as well as April.
please, you're welcome. Yeah, you are heartily welcome. So you will celebrate with us.
Yeah, and I just thought you did mention too before about doing a trip where there's part of the cultural and the tourist and seeing different places, and combining that with trekking. Now we have actually organized a specific trip to do that people are welcome to join in. This one is called Discover Your Edge. And we will be going to Kathmandu, Chitwan, Pokhara. And for people who want to trek, then we will be spending time about 6 days, I think it is, around Annapurna region. Then we'll come back to Pokhara, spend a day in a yoga meditation retreat, and then we'll come back to Kathmandu and have another free day in Kathmandu. But the different thing about the trip that we're doing is because my partner wants to come, I want to trek, but he doesn't trek. He complains after he's walked for an hour. So for people who don't want to trek, but still want the adventure of coming to Nepal, when we get to the start of the trek, then those people, the non-trekkers, they will head to Lumbini, which is Buddha's birthplace, Bandipur. Then they'll come back and spend a couple of days in Pokhara, and there will be cooking classes organized and market tours and different ways of exploring the Nepalese culture. And then, as I said, when we all come back together, then we'll do the day at the yoga meditation retreat. So if that sounds appealing to anybody, please do reach out to either myself or Dinesh. We will be doing that trek. I can't remember the exact date in April, which is very naughty of me, but around about the middle of April 2024. It runs for 16 days, including your arrival day and your departure day. And then we will be running it again and we were starting late October 2024 and running into November. So that's going to be amazing. And as I said, Dinesh, please have a really fun birthday celebration with your family tonight.
Thank you so much.
We will see you again in a bit over 2 weeks. So you will be fresh from the trail. You can tell us exactly what the weather was like, anything that you encountered that you think will be interesting for people. And we might even get you to show some photos or something like that, so that we can get like up to the minute firsthand information. So with all that, we will say goodbye for this week and wish you safe trekking. And we will talk to everyone soon. As I said, if you're watching live or on the replay and you would like to know more about Discover Your Edge trip, or you simply want to ask Dinesh or myself specific questions that relate to the trip that you want to organize for yourself, please comment below and we will get in touch and we can have a chat. So,
sure.
But for now, that's us done, and we will be back on the 27th of October.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to turn the